Thank you for choosing wisdom of the Dharma. If you found this video insightful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss a new update. Your support helps us keep sharing powerful, life-changing wisdom with the world. And don't forget to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's grow and learn together. Part 1. The fruit on your table might be your hidden gateway to wealth. What if I told you that the greatest key to unlocking wealth isn't locked in a bank vault, buried in investment books, or hidden in a business plan? What if it's already sitting on your dining table, in the form of a single, ordinary fruit? This may sound strange, but in both ancient Dharma teachings and Feng Shui wisdom, the objects we surround ourselves with are not just background details. They are carriers of energy, silent companions in our spiritual journey. And among these, fruits have always held a quiet, sacred power. Not just as food, but as energetic symbols. Symbols of abundance, of life's sweetness, of the natural rhythm of growth and reward. Fruits aren't merely nourishment for the body. They are mirrors of the universe's law. What you plant, you grow. What you nurture, will eventually ripen. And the fruit you place in your home, intentionally and with reverence, can become a magnet for prosperity, not just the financial kind, but the spiritual kind that brings peace, joy, and meaning. This isn't superstition. This is energetic alignment. Wealth, in its truest form, is about harmony. Harmony between your mind and your environment. Between your values and your actions. Between what you think you deserve, and what your space actually invites in. So today, we're going to explore a secret hidden in plain sight: how specific fruits, placed in the right locations within your home, can subtly but powerfully shift your energy, and your fortune. But not in the way you might expect. This isn't about lucky charms or quick fixes. It's about understanding how ancient spiritual wisdom intersects with modern energetic awareness. It's about seeing your home, not as just a place to sleep or eat, but as a living field of energy. And you, as its mindful gardener. So take a breath. Look around your space. And ask yourself, what kind of energy have I been feeding my fortune with? Because the answer might begin, not with $1, but with a persimmon, an orange, or a humble bunch of grapes. Let's begin. Part 2. The Dharma of Objects, Why Fruits Hold Energy. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a quiet but profound truth: nothing is ever truly empty. Even the simplest object, a stone, a piece of fabric, or a ripe persimmon, carries with it the echoes of thought, intention, and karma. This is what the Dharma teaches us about samskara, mental and emotional imprints. Every item in your space holds a residue of energy. Not just from its physical presence, but from the intentions surrounding it. A gift given in love carries warmth. A fruit placed with reverence becomes more than decoration. It becomes a vessel of intention. Feng Shui builds on this same foundation. It teaches that your home is not static. It is alive with qi, the flowing life force that moves through space, light, scent, and form. And in this field of movement, shapes, colors, and even scents are not random. They are frequencies that your body and spirit respond to. Now consider fruit. Its form is round, symbolizing wholeness. Its color is vibrant, radiating life force. Its scent is sweet and awakening. In Buddhist terms, it contains rupa, form, but also vedana, feeling. The moment you see a bowl of fresh apples, your energy subtly shifts. You feel comforted, hopeful, open. But there's something even deeper. When you place fruit in your home intentionally, not just as food, but as an energetic offering, you are declaring something sacred. I believe in growth. I honor the cycle of ripening. I welcome the sweetness that comes after patience. This is not wishful thinking. It's the practice of aligning your space with your inner state. Because when your environment affirms abundance, your decisions, emotions, and habits begin to rise in harmony. And that is where wealth begins, not with effort alone, but with energetic permission. In the next part, we'll begin our journey into specific fruits, starting with one that many overlook, yet quietly holds the secret of stable and enduring fortune. Let's take a closer look at the persimmon. Part 3, Persimmon, the wealth of patience. Among all the fruits that symbolize abundance, the persimmon is perhaps the quietest. It doesn't shout with brightness like the orange. It doesn't arrive in clusters like grapes. But the persimmon carries a different kind of wealth, the kind that matures slowly, inwardly, and without spectacle. Its shape is smooth and round, like a full moon. Its color, a warm reddish orange, glows with quiet strength. But what truly makes the persimmon special is its nature. It ripens only when it's ready. If you rush it, it remains bitter. But if you wait, with patience, gentleness, and care, it transforms. Its flesh softens. Its flavor sweetens. Its energy opens. This simple truth mirrors one of the most vital teachings in both Dharma and daily life. The richest rewards often take the longest to ripen. In the West, success is often measured in speed, fast growth, fast money, fast results. But in spiritual terms, true wealth, lasting, meaningful wealth, is never rushed. It unfolds in stillness. It deepens in silence. It comes to those who have learned the art of waiting with faith. Let me share a story. A young entrepreneur once sought advice from an elderly monk known for his wisdom in both meditation and life. "I've launched 3 businesses," the man said, "but none have given me peace or profit." The monk smiled gently and offered him a persimmon. "Don't eat it yet," he said. "Leave it in your room. Watch it every day." The man obeyed. Day by day, he watched it soften, change color, become fragrant. 2 weeks later, the monk returned. "Now, eat it," he said. The fruit was sweet beyond expectation. That, the monk said, is how right timing works. You've been planting seeds, but you haven't been waiting for the season. The persimmon, then, becomes more than fruit. It is a living reminder that timing is sacred. That stillness is powerful. That some forms of wealth, especially emotional or spiritual wealth, require us to slow down and let life ripen. In your home, placing a ripe persimmon on your table or desk does more than invite money. It invites maturity, clarity, and the kind of patience that makes fortune sustainable. Part 4, Orange, the solar charger for prosperity. If the persimmon teaches patience, the orange ignites action. It is the sun you can hold in your hand, bright, full of life, radiating a kind of optimism that is hard to ignore. And in the world of Feng Shui and Dharma energy, this optimism isn't trivial. It's transformational. The orange has long been seen as a symbol of luck, vitality, and readiness. Its color alone, vivid orange, is connected to the fire element in the 5-element theory. Fire brings movement, clarity, motivation. It clears blockages and gets stagnant energy flowing again. When you feel stuck in life or business, it is often not a lack of talent or ideas, it's a lack of energy. The orange restores that spark. But its power doesn't stop at color. When you peel an orange, what happens? Its fragrance bursts forth, sweet and sharp. In energy practice, scent is vibration. The smell of a freshly peeled orange immediately lifts the chi in a room. That's why many traditional Asian homes and businesses keep oranges near entryways or reception areas, not for taste, but for energetic impact. And then there's the shape. Round, full, balanced. It reminds us that wealth is not about being extreme. It's about being centered, radiant, and ready. Let me tell you about Mia, a single mother who had been looking for work for months with no success. One day, while cleaning her small kitchen, she decided to place a bowl of bright oranges in the center of the table, not for decoration, but because she had heard about their energetic power. That week, she got 3 unexpected interviews. One turned into the job she had been hoping for. Coincidence? Perhaps. But as the Dharma teaches, when intention meets action, energy responds. Keeping oranges in your home, especially in open spaces like the dining room or entrance, is a way of welcoming movement, clarity, and new beginnings. You are saying, I am open. I am ready. I trust life to flow. In times of fatigue or doubt, place your hands over an orange and simply breathe. Let its color, scent, and energy reconnect you to the fire within. Because sometimes, prosperity doesn't need to be chased. It just needs to be invited. Part 5, Apple, Peace that Attracts Prosperity. Not all wealth is loud. Sometimes, the most powerful prosperity enters your life with the quiet stillness of a red apple resting on a countertop. The apple, in its simplicity, represents something that many overlook in their pursuit of riches, inner peace. And yet, as countless spiritual teachings affirm, where peace resides, abundance naturally follows. In Feng Shui, the apple is a symbol of harmony. Its round, symmetrical shape embodies balance. Its smooth skin, firm body, and refreshing scent speak of health, safety, and nourishment. But even more symbolic is the apple's emotional presence. It makes you feel at home. It makes your body exhale. And this is not accidental. In Chinese, the word for apple sounds like the word for peace. In the West, apples are offered to teachers, given as tokens of care, and shown in folklore as symbols of life and wisdom. Across cultures, this fruit has become a spiritual shorthand for stability. Let me share a quiet story. Elliot was a retired school teacher who had lost much of his savings in a stock market crash. No longer chasing money, he focused instead on restoring harmony in his home, cleaning, tending his garden, and each morning placing 3 red apples on a tray near the window. I don't know if they bring money, he once told a visitor, but they make me feel like I already have enough. Over time, Elliot found new sources of income, not from hustle, but through people offering him opportunities he hadn't even pursued. A former student hired him to write curriculum. A neighbor invited him into a book club that later became a paid speaking circle. What changed? His energy. The apple's wisdom is subtle. You cannot welcome prosperity if your heart is in conflict. When your space, and your mind, radiate ease, trust, and goodwill, you become a magnet for resources that are aligned with who you are. Place apples in your kitchen, in your workspace, or even on your meditation altar. Let them remind you that true wealth isn't about pressure or urgency. It's about peace. Because peace is the soil in which all good things grow. Part 6, Grapes, Flowing Prosperity Through Connection. Of all the fruits in nature, few grow the way grapes do, in tight clusters, always together, never alone. They are a vivid symbol that prosperity doesn't happen in isolation. It moves through relationships, flows through networks, and deepens through shared purpose. In Feng Shui, grapes are revered for their representation of continuous wealth. Their clusters signal not a one-time windfall, but an unbroken stream of opportunities, luck after luck, gift after gift. Their shape, color, and abundance are reminders of how richness multiplies when energy is shared. But beyond aesthetics, grapes whisper something deeply spiritual. Connection is currency. In Dharma teachings, We are reminded again and again of inner being, the truth that nothing exists independently. Just as grapes grow from a single vine, nourished by sun, rain, and soil, our success is always woven from the hands, voices, and kindness of others. Let me tell you about Nathan and Lily, a couple who lost their small cafe during a citywide shutdown. Instead of falling into despair, they began hosting online cooking classes from their tiny apartment, just the two of them, a webcam, and a bowl of fresh grapes always placed on the shelf behind them. They didn't choose grapes for symbolism at first, only for decoration. But one day, a viewer messaged them. "Your grapes make me feel welcome, like family." That one message grew into a community. A community grew into partnerships. And 6 months later, they reopened their cafe, funded not by banks, but by the people they had nourished with their joy. That's how grape energy works. It gathers. It shares. It grows. So when you place grapes in your home, on your table, your altar, or even in artwork, you are aligning yourself with collective wealth. You are saying, "I am open to give. I am ready to receive. I believe in connection." And in a world where disconnection is common, that energy stands out. It attracts. It flows. It multiplies. Because abundance isn't always found in solitude. Often, it ripens in togetherness. Part 7, Peach, Longevity, Safety, and Wealth. There is something uniquely comforting about a peach. Its soft skin, gentle curves, and tender flesh seem to whisper safety and sweetness, a promise that all is well, and that life, at its core, is meant to be both nourishing and kind. In Feng Shui and ancient folklore, the peach is a sacred symbol of longevity and spiritual protection. It's not merely a fruit, it is a shield. In Taoist and Buddhist traditions, the peach tree was believed to repel evil spirits, to preserve vitality, and to mark the threshold between the mortal and the divine. But beyond mythology, the peach carries a modern truth. Real wealth must last. And to last, it must feel safe. Think of the energy you hold when you are under pressure, anxious, rushed, defensive. That is not fertile ground for abundance. Now imagine a space where your nervous system relaxes, where your breath slows, where you feel protected. That is where wealth truly begins to take root. Peaches radiate that kind of energy. Let me share a story. Ruth, a 72-year-old widow, lived alone in a quiet house outside Santa Fe. After losing her husband and most of her retirement, she felt unsafe in more ways than one. Her finances, her health, her emotional stability, all felt fragile. But instead of spiraling, she turned to ritual. Each morning, she would light incense and place a single peach on a cloth at her kitchen table. "I do it for 2 reasons," she told a neighbor. "To feel protected, and to remember that sweetness is still possible." Months later, her health improved. A distant relative reached out to offer her a part-time role writing newsletters for a small nonprofit. And her home, once silent, slowly became a gathering space for neighbors who brought soup, music, and companionship. "The peach," she said, "gave me something to believe in again." In your own space, whether you place a real peach, an image, or even a peach-colored item, what matters most is the intention, to build an energy of calm, longevity, and gentle abundance. Because some forms of wealth, like health, safety, and love, cannot be counted. But they are priceless. Part 8, Pomegranate, Quiet Multiplication of Blessings. Some fruits sing their abundance aloud. The pomegranate whispers it. Cracked open, it reveals hundreds of ruby red seeds, each one a silent symbol of potential, growth, and infinite possibility. From the outside, it looks modest, even rough. But inside? A universe of richness. That, in itself, is a spiritual lesson. The pomegranate is revered across cultures as a fruit of fertility, prosperity, and divine blessing. In Feng Shui, it represents multiplication, not just of money, but of joy, family, ideas, and opportunities. It's the fruit of more, not in excess, but in sacred expansion. In Dharma thinking, this aligns with the idea that abundance is not always flashy. It is often quiet, hidden, and earned slowly. Just like the karmic seeds we plant each day with our words, thoughts, and actions. I once met a painter named Gabriel, who lived in a small, sunlit studio in Lisbon. He wasn't famous, and for years, he barely sold a painting. But above his workspace, taped to the wall, was a single image, a hand holding a pomegranate, split open, glistening. "Why that?" I asked. He smiled. "Because it reminds me that my value isn't always visible yet. But the seeds are already inside me." It took time, but in his 5th year, one of his pieces went viral. Today, his studio is full of orders, yet he still keeps that same image on the wall. Not for luck, but for remembrance. When you place a pomegranate in your space, real or symbolic, you activate the energy of quiet power. You tell the universe, "I am building. I am expanding. I believe in compound blessings." It also holds deep meaning for relationships. Each seed is unique, yet they dwell in harmony. Families, teams, communities, when built with respect and shared vision, can generate more wealth than any individual alone. So keep a pomegranate where it catches the light. Let it remind you that not all treasures shine immediately. Some grow quietly, inwardly, and then, when the time is right, they burst forth with abundance. Because wealth isn't always about what you can count. Sometimes, it's about what you faithfully cultivate, seed by sacred seed. Part 9, Pineapple, Strength, Dignity, and Good Luck. Stand before a pineapple, and you'll notice something regal. Its spiky armor, crown like leaves, and golden flesh speak of resilience, authority, and inner sweetness, the very qualities needed to attract and sustain true wealth. In Feng Shui, the pineapple is considered a powerful symbol of good luck and strong beginnings. In Chinese dialects, its name sounds like the phrase "fortune comes," making it a favored fruit during grand openings, housewarmings, and business launches. But its energy goes far beyond cultural coincidence. The pineapple is tough on the outside, protecting what matters most inside. That toughness isn't hostility, it's dignity. It says, "I know who I am. I guard my light." This is essential wisdom for anyone walking the path of prosperity. Not all wealth is about attracting. Much of it is about preserving your energy, your values, your peace. And when you cut into a pineapple, you find gold. Sweet, vibrant, fragrant gold. Let me tell you about Janae, a florist from Georgia who used to undercharge for her services out of fear she wasn't good enough. One day, during a Feng Shui consultation, she was told to place a whole pineapple near her front entrance. It felt silly at first, she said. But something about that fruit reminded me, I'm allowed to shine. I'm allowed to charge what I'm worth. She began raising her prices, not drastically, but confidently. And something shifted. Her clients didn't disappear. In fact, new ones arrived, clients who valued her work and her energy. Within a year, her small shop tripled its income. The pineapple didn't bring magic. It brought mirror energy. It reflected back the strength she had forgotten she carried. Place a pineapple at your door, in your kitchen, or in artwork. Let it remind you to stand tall, protect your energy, and never apologize for your brilliance. True wealth doesn't always roar. Sometimes, It wears a crown, smells sweet, and whispers. You were born for this. Because when strength and sweetness live in harmony, luck doesn't need to be chased. It comes knocking. Part 10, Mango, the energy of enoughness. Not every fruit calls attention to itself. The mango doesn't need to. Its soft curves, golden skin, and gentle fragrance speak volumes in silence. And in that silence, there is a lesson. Abundance isn't always loud, it's knowing you already have enough. In Feng Shui, the mango is often associated with steady wealth, emotional comfort, and balance. Its golden yellow color connects it to the earth element, which governs stability, nurturing, and the ability to retain what you've gained. Unlike fiery energy that drives rapid change, earth energy holds and supports. It grounds your prosperity. But perhaps the most powerful thing the mango offers is a shift in mindset. So many of us chase wealth from a place of lack. I need more. I'm not there yet. I'm falling behind. But the mango whispers, you are already enough. Let the fruit ripen at its own pace. This lesson came alive for Arjun, a software engineer who spent years grinding through side projects, long hours, and endless upgrades, yet never felt secure. One day, during a break in Bali, he stayed in a guest house surrounded by mango trees. He watched them every morning, how they swayed in the breeze, unrushed, unbothered, and yet always fruitful in season. By the end of his stay, he hadn't just rested. He had remembered. He returned home and made a bold shift, fewer hours, fewer side hustles, more focus. And slowly, his income didn't decrease, it became more stable. His health returned. His relationships deepened. His joy grew. That is mango energy. It is quiet, rooted, sufficient. And it teaches us that sometimes, wealth flows not when we do more, but when we believe more deeply in what we've already cultivated. Place a few ripe mangoes in your home, in the dining area, workspace, or even as images in your decor. Their soft golden glow holds a frequency of calm abundance. Because the mango doesn't just attract wealth. It helps you hold on to it, with grace, with stillness, and with the deep knowing that what you have is already enough. Part 11, Banana, Collective Power and Team Wealth. A single banana is easy to overlook. But a whole cluster, bright, curved, and golden, draws the eye. That's because the banana doesn't grow alone. It grows in unity, always in groups, always together. In Feng Shui, the banana is revered as a symbol of teamwork, expansion, and shared abundance. Its signature crescent shape curves gently inward, like an open palm, ready to receive blessings. It's not aggressive. It's welcoming. It reflects a truth often forgotten in the pursuit of personal success. Sometimes, real wealth is collective. Each banana may seem small, but together, they form a powerful visual of cohesive strength. No one banana carries the burden alone, yet each contributes to the fullness of the whole. This is the energy of family, of teams, of communities that grow wealth together, not just in dollars, but in trust, reliability, and shared vision. There's a Buddhist principle known as Sangha, the spiritual community. Even the Buddha himself emphasized that the path cannot be walked in isolation. We need mirrors, support, and shared space to evolve, and to prosper. Let me share a story. Diego was a chef in a small town who dreamed of opening his own restaurant. But he didn't have enough capital. Rather than give up, he began cooking from his garage every weekend with the help of his siblings and neighbors. He always placed a cluster of bananas on the prep table, for energy, he'd say. Over time, his garage kitchen became a community event. People brought ingredients, shared stories, and posted online. The buzz grew. And when he finally launched his restaurant, it wasn't just his, it belonged to everyone who had built it with him. He kept a bunch of bananas in the kitchen every day. Not as a superstition, but as a reminder, I didn't build this alone. So place bananas where collaboration happens, in the kitchen, meeting rooms, or spaces of creation. Let them remind you that prosperity isn't always found in personal ambition. Sometimes, it rises in togetherness. Because when we grow together, our wealth deepens, not just in quantity, but in meaning. Part 12, Rituals of Wealth, Placement, Intention, and Daily Practice. Now that you understand the symbolic power of fruits, from the patience of the persimmon to the collective strength of the banana, you may wonder, how do I bring this energy into my daily life? The answer lies in ritual. Not in superstition or blind belief, but in conscious placement, a practice of arranging your space with awareness, and anchoring your intentions with physical symbols. In both Feng Shui and Buddhist mindfulness, your home is not just where you live. It is an energetic echo of your inner world. Every object speaks. Every arrangement vibrates. And when you place symbolic fruits intentionally, you are creating a sacred conversation between your environment and your energy field. Here's how to begin. 1. Choose meaning over aesthetics. Don't just place fruit to make your home look good. Choose based on what energy you want to invite. Need stability? Apple. Desire motivation? Orange. Want to build a team or deepen relationships? Banana or grapes? Feeling spiritually blocked? Pineapple or peach? Let the symbolism guide you, not fashion or trend. 2. Placement is a language. Where you place the fruit matters just as much as what fruit you choose. Dining table, this is the heart of the home. A bowl of mixed fruits here says, our family is surrounded by health, abundance, and nourishment. Entrance or foyer, the gateway of qi. Placing fruits like oranges, pineapples, or pomegranates near the entry tells energy, you are welcome to flow in freely. Workspace or desk, for personal growth, motivation, and income stability, keep fruits like mango, persimmon, or apples nearby. Even images of fruit can hold symbolic charge when placed with intention. 3. Refresh the energy. Just like our thoughts, fruits change over time. A fruit left to rot sends the wrong signal: decay, neglect, stagnation. Always keep fruit fresh, clean, and tended. Even artificial or decorative fruits can hold power if kept beautiful and respectfully positioned. Once a week, clean the bowl. Replace what needs replacing. Whisper an affirmation while doing it. Something like, may this home be a vessel of growth, peace, and open-hearted abundance. 4. Combine with daily practice. Fruits are not magic. They are reminders. Anchors. Their power is awakened when combined with mindfulness. Try this simple practice. As you walk past your fruit display, pause. Take one breath in gratitude. Whisper, I am aligned with prosperity. Then keep walking. Over time, these small rituals become more than habits. They become energetic tuning forks, adjusting your inner and outer worlds to the same frequency of wealth. Because in truth, abundance doesn't come from luck or force. It grows when you create space for it to enter, stay, and thrive. Final reflections. Wealth is a Dharma path, not just a destination. If you've made it this far, you already understand, this wasn't really about fruit. It was about awareness. About learning to see wealth not as something distant or external, but as something that grows from how you live, what you honor, and how you align with the energy around you. The Dharma teaches us that every step, every breath, every object, no matter how ordinary, can become part of the sacred path if met with mindfulness. And so a simple apple becomes a symbol of peace. A ripe mango becomes an affirmation of enoughness. A cluster of grapes reminds you, you were never meant to walk this alone. True wealth is not found at the end of some exhausting race. It is cultivated in the quiet rhythm of your days, the way you arrange your table, the intention you set at your doorstep, the energy you bring into every room. It is not about chasing fortune, it is about inviting it. Not through fear, but through faith. Not through force, but through presence. You may never look at fruit the same way again. And that's the point. Because the moment you begin to see the sacred in the simple, you step into a life where even your smallest daily rituals carry the vibration of prosperity. So place that bowl of fruit with care. Light a candle. Say a quiet prayer. Not for riches, but for alignment. And trust that the more your home becomes a reflection of peace, the more your life will become a channel for abundance, not just in what you earn, but in how you feel, how you love, and how you live. Wealth, in the Dharma, is never just a goal. It is a way of being. Before you go, take a moment to leave a gentle affirmation in the comments, something simple from your heart, like, I am ready to receive abundance with peace and gratitude. And if this message spoke to you, we invite you to walk further with us. Click like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, not just to follow a channel, but to stay connected to a space where wisdom flows, gently and continually. Thank you for sharing your presence with us today. Until next time, may your home be filled with harmony. And may your path unfold with grace.